Welcome pile one to your reading. So today we're doing what is your creative gift and how can you use it? Whoa, hold on a second, you know. Okay. So we have the Queen of Pentacles coming out right away. So there is definitely a Venusian, earthy, tactile, physical beauty to who you are and what you do. To your creative gift. You may be like a fine artist of some kind, like a painter, a builder, a craft person, someone who actually makes things that are tangible. Either that, or you work with beauty in some capacity, or with gardening, like the earth in some capacity. So anything that is kind of specifically Venusian, meaning like Venus oriented, is where you shine in your creativity. Okay, so we have King of Swords and Eight of Swords coming out here. You may also use your words to some degree, like you may be a writer, a communicator, but I'm also seeing that there is an element of like mental restriction that you place on yourself. So what is pile number one's creative gift? Queen of Swords as well here. Interesting. So you definitely have a well-rounded mind. Your mind is a place where this beauty really, excuse me, where this beauty really gets to, it's almost like I think you do use your imagination in your creative work to some degree. But I do get the sense that you've kind of, at the moment at least, you've kind of mentally limited yourself on what it is that you can do and how you can bring your gifts to the world, which is probably why you're here listening to this reading in the first place. And I think this is a really powerful message, because this life force, look at how colorful and beautiful the Queen of Pentacles card is. Like, it's like all the colors of the rainbow are here. She's so enriched with life. Like, she is part of the world. She's giving back. Her very essence, her very existence is a part of the life cycle of the world. And she's like so abundant. Everything she does just makes the world a richer place. So whatever your creative gift is, it is supposed to be bringing you like wealth and sustained abundance. One sec, let me just sip my coffee. It's like first thing in the morning over here, but I just like really felt like doing these readings. So the King of Swords, Queen of Swords, I think that you have given your mind a lot of power in terms of your creative existence. Whoa, another Ace of Swords here too. So this is all mental realm. So your creative gift definitely has to do, I think, with writing or with communication to some degree. It's funny that we went from the physical world, the tangible world, to writing. So I think you must have multiple talents here, because you clearly are someone who is in the mind and of words, but you are also someone who is deeply rooted in what is beautiful. You may be an ecological writer if this is the case. But I want to know a little bit more about the Eight of Swords and what you need to do about that. Because what can pile number one do with their, how can they use their creative gifts? And what is Eight of Swords all about? We have a King of Pentacles here. So now look at what you've got here. This is crazy. You have King Swords, King Pentacles, and you have Queen Swords, Queen Pentacles. So you have a fully rounded out dichotomy between the mind and the body. You may be, this is really, really fascinating. You may be someone who works with the mind-body connection, but so because we're talking about lots of different gifts, it might be that you do many different things, right? But I think this is also saying that in order to balance out and free you from the mental restrictions that you've placed on yourself and on your gifts and how you can use them, you really do need to balance out the body's wisdom with the mind's wisdom. So you really need to remember to reinstill the physical practice and the worldly practice that is Also, I think I'm hearing like building, like making actual money. So refocusing your energy on how you can really make money from the things that you do, and not in a like burnout way or a sellout way. This is about like getting really serious about how you can build streams of income from the craft that you do, or the crafts that you do. Because if you can honor the fact that this is your whole being, I'm seeing this, right? Like body, mind, this is your whole entire life, is this creative gift. And so if you can create a abundant life from it, then you are in alignment. So you really do need to actually allow yourself to figure out how to do that. Oh, we have a 3 of Swords coming out here, and then a 9 of Cups. So there's a lot of contradictory information, a lot of contrast that you experience as a creative. You're both happy and pained. You're both like contented by the path and by the creative gifts that you have, and yet there's like a lot of pain and trauma that actually is associated with this. So how can you best use your creative gifts? This might be this pain and trauma that's also kind of like grounded in joy. I mean, that's really common for a lot of creatives, is to have a lot of negative feelings or a lot of negative experiences that are associated with them expressing themselves. So if you have these traumas that are associated with showing up, I think that maybe what I just said about charging money and like finding ways to finance your creative gifts or create financial wealth from your creative gifts may have triggered something in you. And so this card is coming out to like point to that. But we have the 9 of Cups on the bottom of the deck, which is saying, you want that. And that's probably why you are triggered, because there's something here about allowing yourself to desire things, allowing yourself to have what it is that you want. And the King and Queen of Pentacles talks about that as well. They talk about not denying yourself, not denying the desire that you have for the physical body to be well cared for the life to be rich. And that in itself is a trauma of yours that is being pointed out so that you can look at it, because you actually, underlying that, you actually do have a desire to build a life from your creative gifts and to have a financially abundant life, and to be secure in that way from your gifts. But there's something that, and this is what the 8 of Swords is talking about, there's something that holds you back. And what's holding you back from really allowing yourself to do that is self-belief. There's these beliefs within that are rooted in pain and rooted in shame that say that you can't be happy, that you can't actually be fully fulfilled. How can you best use your creative gift? This is the one. Another Swords card and Death. So just bear with me while I shuffle. I may edit it out. Whoa, okay. So there is success here for you. You are meant to be successful with these pursuits, with these gifts that you have, the 6 of Wands here. But we also have a 2 of Swords, a lot of swords in this reading, and the Death. So there's something about, there's an impasse in your mind. You have a mental impasse, a mental block. And you need to pass through that mental block in a kind of, it's almost like a death. You need to transform it. You need to transmute whatever this mental restriction is. And I asked how you can best use your creative gifts. So I'm seeing almost a gate as well. There's like a portal here. I think you can use your creative gifts actually as a form of transformation for yourself and for others, where you literally create these passages, I would say, that allow people to almost like mentally check themselves, and in that to find and transmute energy. It's like you can change people's minds. So again, I am really seeing writing, because I know I started off talking about the physical, like fine art. That could definitely still be part of this. But I really do see there is like something about words, mental chatter I just heard. So maybe you do a lot of writing. But I am seeing painting as well. There's something about painting, like paint brushes here. Actually allowing yourself to do your art and allow that to be kind of the death of your own mental restrictions and your own lack of, it's almost like freeze state. So if you practice, if you just go to the easel, or you go to the, to the paper and pen or whatever, your laptop, and you just write, the practice of that, or the praxis of that, actually transforms your mental block. And in doing that, it creates, like I said, portals for other people. There's something about like you, whatever you do, it's like mirrored out in others. There's a mirroring here, or maybe you act as a mirror for humanity or for other people who resonate with your art. You also, there's a repetition here. There's something about repetition, doubling. So doing things over and over and over again will help you to transform and kind of kill out. I know, sorry for the strong language, but like to end the cycle of mental pain and trauma that holds you stuck. So if you just show up in, honestly, arrive to your creative practice, arrive to your writing, arrive to your painting as if you're coming home. So every time you want to, this is also a sign of what is the practice that you should be focusing on, or that is the most like aligned for you in a certain time in your life. Is like, it feels like you feel powerful when you're doing it. You feel loved when you're doing it. You, even if it's just like spiritually loved, like you feel like something about the practice makes you feel like you are successful, even just in that moment. Like you feel yeah, in some way powerful. And this will also get you out of a sense of, I think, this functional freeze state, and a sense of like almost like not boredom, but self-doubt and self kind of depression, and like not really thinking that maybe nothing's really happening in my life. Like if you don't show up and just do the work, you guys have a tendency to get quite depressed. So it's really about like just showing up in, even if no one can see you, you're showing up for yourself. You are showing up as this like success energy just for yourself, and you hold yourself to a high standard. And I think that's actually correct for you. You should be like being proud of the work that you do. But you don't have to necessarily be like being bravado about it out in the world. It's just about like a selfhood. It's about like showing up to the practice and having a sense of integrity and pride in what you're doing. And like I said, this is going to basically break through the mental cage that you've put yourself in. And I also want to say that it's not that you have put yourself entirely in this cage, right? This is like about experiences that you've had, or things that you've witnessed in the world that have made you feel like it's dangerous, or that it's just too painful to like show up in this Nine of Cups energy where you can claim your desire, you can claim what you want. But I'm telling you, I think for you guys, the practice or the answer is through actually doing it. And we have 9 of Pentacles to stop or to end the reading. And that is a wonderful card of like personal growth, personal power, and putting in effort in a solo endeavor, or in in a creative endeavor that actually does build you worth, but you just builds you financial gain and abundance. But it is about like putting in the effort and step by step, and then it just makes you feel so good about yourself. It really just makes you feel so rich, so abundant. And I think it will actually lead you to a lot of wealth. This is like the boss bitch, like entrepreneurship card. So that could also be part of it too, is like part of this, like I said, about making money from the art. There is an entrepreneurial streak to this, and you just need to keep showing up and keep applying yourself to the practice, and you will get there. That's what this like 6 of Wands is too, is this is like a promised success card. 9 of Pentacles, 6 of Wands is an amazing omen for success. So you just got to keep going, and this is a process that will transform you, and it will help you to see through your own mental blocks. This is about staying in the body, stay connected to the body, show up in the doing the things, like physically showing up and doing the things, not just thinking about them, not just planning them, but actually doing it. And if you do it repetitively, then you will succeed and you will see the fruits of your labor. Okay, that's your reading. Thank you so much, Pile 1, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, Pile 2. So I'm already getting a really strong message for you guys. You have been, I think you've been through a lot, and you've had some disappointments on your creative journey. And you're in this stage right now, or you've just recently been in the stage where you have decided, in a sense, to turn the energy around and point towards optimism. You've been like, okay, you know what? I'm done with feeling like shit about this, and I'm actually going to move towards what I know I can do, what is still available for me, and what is truly like my gifts. And I'm going to use my gifts, and I'm not going to give up. And this is really, really powerful, because you're going into this, you've decided to go into this energy that's like, no, we're not stopping. And it's giving your creative path like renewed momentum. And it's really supercharging the future for you. So you are really headed towards real momentum. You're headed towards real change, I'm hearing. I think you really want change. You want to expand, and you want to move faster. You want to build something. You want to build something that lasts. And I think you're also interested in, there's something like almost institutional about this. So you might be thinking about, in some way, okay, how do I describe this? Okay, applying your gifts to an existing establishment. Does that make sense? So let's say you were a freelancer before, you're now thinking, maybe I'm going to actually start applying my gifts and my skills to like a company or to some kind of like bigger structure. And I think that is actually a good path for you, because we have the 10 of Pentacles here. So I know that you want to move towards increased stability and permanency. And I think that is part of the momentum for you right now, that you've like decided, okay, I see what has not worked, and now I'm realizing that there is this other way of doing this, or this other kind of like, there's a new goal, and this new goal is really giving you, like I said, renewed momentum and strength. And it is, you are driving in the right direction. Like you have control over this situation, and it's just a matter of keeping your eyes peeled for the right opportunities, scanning for the right opportunities, and knowing how to volley. Okay, I'm getting like archery imagery. So I do feel like maybe you are hunting for something, like you are hunting for gigs, hunting for a job, hunting for a position in order to apply this. And you're trying to aim for the right things. So it's like you're scanning and watching and aiming for the right things. Now, there is this other thing going on. There is an energy here. Whoa, give me a second. I'll just drop all the cards. There is an energy here of being impoverished, left out in the cold, with the devil reversed. So something is tugging you down. Okay, there's an energy that is either about toxic relationships, toxicity of some kind, something that has you kind of by the balls in a certain way, but that you can actually get out of. It's just this, like, it's an addiction type energy, or it's something that keeps you in the underground or the underbelly of the world. And I'm really getting this visual, like it pulls you down. Do you see it? I don't know if you're looking, but this devil card is like upside down, and it's underneath these people who are stuck out in the cold there and can't get into the nice warm church. So there's a place you want to go. There's an environment you want to be involved in, right? Like I said, you're looking to apply your skills, your gifts to a place, to a established structure. And that established structure is like this warm window of light. So you need to get inside there. But for some reason, there's something that is pulling you down and making it difficult for you to like enter in there. And it does have something to do with, I think there's a shadow energy in yourself that is stopping that. It's either just an internal shadow, or it's like some kind of an expression of your shadow that is in your external world, something you're fighting with. You're like fighting with something. You're fighting and struggling to be free of something. And this thing that is not letting you be free is really making it difficult for you to like enter into those spaces, or to get into this, lock into this momentum energy. Okay, so we have Queen of Swords, Ace of Swords, Knight of Wands. So yeah, you definitely have your sights on something. You know where it is you want to go. You have a much clearer vision than ever before. So there's like a decided energy. There's something decided. And yet at the same time, it's like you do kind of doubt whether that's true, or whether it's like you doubt your own insight, or you doubt your own clear knowledge. There's something about like when you have an idea, or when you have a clear insight that comes to you, in the moment it feels really clear. It feels really like obvious. But then when you see it expressed outside of yourself, like once you like put it out there, then you doubt it. Then you doubt its viability. You're not sure if that's actually correct, and you doubt whether you were wrong somehow, or like you think maybe you were wrong. And then this Knight of Wands here is to say like the energy we're trying to get into is actually this like creative flow. So there needs to be more confidence. But the confidence, I think, is also maybe one of the issues here that you have about, I think maybe you think that by being overly confident and being overly sure of yourself, you're actually going to be misguided. You're going to guide yourself down the wrong path, or that there's something wrong about it. Like, I'm really getting that it's like a not discomfort, but a distrust in clarity and creative power. And I think that that's something in you. This might be the devil energy. This might be the thing that's pulling you down. This like loyalty that you have towards distrusting distrusting your own creative clarity and power and energy. And that could be, because I lost a thought that I was going to have. I like tried to interrupt myself, and then I lost that thought. That could be significant. This like brain scramble could be significant. There's something brain scramblies about that. You may like interrupt yourself. You may interrupt your own creative power or your own creative flow. This devil energy is something within you or within your life that likes to do that likes to sabotage you. It likes to interrupt your creative flow, and then it puts you off. It like distracts you from the path. And it makes it really difficult for you to stay in that power, to stay in that flow, and to also trust your vision in the first place. Because when you get distracted, and then you can't remember what the idea was, or you can't remember what the clarity was anymore. And yes, but this is really important. So the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Swords, Knight of Wands. They're looking at each other like this in your spread, and what's between them is this reversed Ace of Swords. So this brain fog, this brain scramblies that happens with you because of, I think, this saboteur energy that you have in your life or in yourself, in your shadow, it stops them from communicating. These are two parts of your brain that and your creative energy that need to be in communication with each other. There's clarity, like visual clarity or mental clarity, and ideas and boundaries. And then there's this like really creative fire that wants to express itself, and that has like really great like either it has like proclivity for like art and talent and color and movement and expression and humor, something like that, but it also has like drive, and it wants to be like, it wants to be expressed, and it wants to move, and it wants to make things and get them out there. And these two things are supposed to work together in harmony, but the brain scramblies gets in the middle and confuses them and stops them from actually communicating properly. This message is so good. It's like so clear. Okay, so we have Page of Swords reversed and Strength. Page of Swords, Empress, and Strength all reversed. Whoa. So these are all potential energies that you have within you that I think this Devil card is bucking up. So we have the Empress. Beautiful. Like, you're made to be a creator. You are literally, everything you do is creative. And also, your creative gift is meant to bring you like endless abundance. Like, this is absolutely what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be using this gift to make things and to make art and to be in the artistic realms, and also just to allow things to flow from you, like to allow your creativity to support your life and to support the lives of others. Page of Swords is someone who has an open mind, has an imagination, has an ability to really, like, I don't know, just be open to new possibilities. And then the Strength card is an energy that has in some way tamed the inner animal, the inner fire, in a way like through compassion, through understanding, through gentleness. But all of these are in the reverse for you. And so what that is telling me is that there's a lack of compassion you have for yourself. There's a lack of, almost like a lack of understanding of why you may have certain instincts or have certain like things that come up that, all the things that we talked about. I think that you may be quite harsh with yourself, and that you might actually try to force the energy, force the creative energy, and then cause yourself to burn out. The Empress card reversed is very much about like forcing creativity, forcing things unnaturally, and how that leads to a depletion of natural creative energy. It leads to a depletion of like the sacred feminine energy. And this doesn't mean that you're a woman. It just means like this is your creatrix energy, like the womb energy and the Shakti energy that creates all life. And so it's like a twisted up, it's like I don't want to say a bunk ass version of this. It's just like you're somehow not allowing yourself to be in your creative flow, right? And a lot of that comes from forcing and from not having real understanding of your systems and your nervous system, what you need, how your energy needs to flow. If you know how, if you get really honest about what your nervous system's needs are and what your brain's needs are, and you actually honor and respect those boundaries and those processes that are unique for you, then you will unlock this energy, and it will naturally start to be like a much happier place within yourself, within your creative self. And the Page of Swords reversed is like, it's just this brain that there's like a mental fatigue here that needs to be released, because the brain, it's like your mind wants to be free and open and innocent, but I'm really feeling like a cloudiness and a kind of like a storm. It's like storm clouds that are pressing on this very innocent, open mind. This mind needs to stay. Okay. I'm getting another message here as well. So, you know how we were talking about the Queen of Swords, right? This like very clear mental energy. So that's all good. But what I'm getting with the Page of Swords here is that it's trying to tell you that your thinking mind is actually not the most important thing. What you need to be prioritizing in your life, in total, like in your life, is this nervous system capacity, making yourself feel regulated, or allowing yourself to feel truly like at peace in your body and embodied in your creative path, and allowing the thoughts and the mental stuff to actually take a back seat and to not take up so much space. Where you want to use your mental capacity is actually just in the creation of your stuff, of your art, where you can see things really clearly, and then you use your creative gifts, like your actual skills and flow and power and energy, to enact the vision that you have, right? Or to enact the clarity of the idea. But mental like processing and thinking and like almost overthinking and worrying is not supposed to be it's not supposed to be central. It's supposed to be much less of a force than the body's wellness and the internal compassion that you have with yourself, and this relationship that you have with your nervous system. That's supposed to be much more powerful in your life. So that's your message, and I hope that helped you in some way. Yeah, thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hi, pile number 3. So I'm excited for your reading. There is some really interesting energy here. So right off the bat, before I even drew the cards, let me just tell you this. Before I even drew the cards, I felt this sense of, I can barely find the words, but it was like, okay, it's fucking time. And there was a kind of relief and a surrender, like a really intense surrender, but it feels like the kind of feeling that one gets at the end of like an ordeal, at the end of a serious ordeal. So let's get into it. So there's some really strong themes here of having been fighting for your goddamn life, okay? Fighting for your idea, fighting to sort of just like bring something into the workplace, but it could be like onto the platform, into the industry of some kind. There's like a lot of competition. Judgment is here to be like, it's time. It's time. Something is like fully being put on blast. So this could be a time where you are finally bringing something, either you're finally bringing something to the public eye, or there's almost like a judgment being called collectively, and you're kind of standing up from the crowd, like you're arising from the turmoil, like the mess or the noise. So we have 7 of Wands on the bottom of the deck here. So there's definitely an energy of defending yourself, defending your domain, defending your position. And you're not bowing down. King of Swords here as well. You're not going to allow anybody to deter you. You have a very clear vision now, and also a very clear voice, a very clear way of telling people what it is that you do and what it is that you're here, why you're here, what you're doing. Now, I will say that your creative gift, let me just also put this out there. Your creative gift could involve competition in some way. It could involve defense in some way. I actually am seeing martial artists. Like, I really am seeing that in my mind's eye. So this could actually all just be about like what you do, what your gift has to do with like somehow fighting or the expression of fighting. And if that's not the case, then what we're talking about is that fighting itself has been part of your creative journey, or this kind of competition of some kind has been part of your creative journey. This has been a cycle that has caused you quite a lot of mental strain, I would say, psychological strain, but it's over. That's over. You have a really, really, really good idea. You have a refined process. You have a refined project that you're working on, or that you are in the process of refining, and it's time to bring it to the world, I believe. There's this, like I said, there was this feeling of like, oh my God, like this is big. This is like a big news thing. Page of Cups is here as well. So we have 2 pages. What you're working on may still be in the early stages. It may still be an underdeveloped offering, but what is not underdeveloped, what is very developed, is your plan, your vision. So we have the 2 of Swords reversed as well here. There's an unlocking of the mind to some degree. There's an unblocking. I think that's really what's going on here. There's kind of an unblocking. And it's coming, like I said, after this ending of a cycle of sort of struggle and defense. And I think you may be putting something into place, putting something into action. Either you're getting an opportunity coming to you that actually will like reflect your readiness back to you. So you'll be able to actually embody how ready you know you are, because you know you're ready, but you may not have been able to prove your readiness to do this thing, or to take this project to the next, or this idea to the next, or this skill to the next stage. This could be like, okay, let's say you work in, this is the first on the mind because I work in film to some degree. And so I'm thinking about people who are working on sets and who are like PAs or something. And they have all these skills and knowledge, all this knowledge and these skills. And they want to start doing a different role, like a more developed role in the industry. And they're fighting against all these different folks. And not fighting, but they're up against all these different folks that have similar skill sets or similar levels of experience. And there's something about needing to stand out from the crowd. This could also be actors of some kind, like people who are like, oh, this is really giving actor, actually. This is giving stage, like you're on stage. And you need to be like seen in a different way. And so this is maybe like you're getting a role, like you're getting the role that you really need. And it's like, it's been a visual, it's been something that you have like in your mind, mentally, you know you're ready for this. It's just a matter of being allowed, in a sense, being given the opportunity to embody it, to embody this like full, to embody this character, to embody your readiness, embody your potential. That's the word I'm looking for. Judgment is being called here, so I'm really getting that there is like, this is okay, it's your time, this is your call. Like I said, it's kind of giving film set, like where it's like you're called on set, like you need to go, you need to do this now. And there's no more time to be, you can't be indecisive anymore, right? It's like you're being given this role, this opportunity. And yeah, you may have been up against 2 other people. There may have been like 3 people that you have been specifically contending with or contending against. And because I just saw the 3 of Cups, that's not a bad energy at all. It's actually quite a positive energy. They just may be peers. So you may be like contending with peers or contending with people that you do like respect and like, but you still have to somehow prove yourself in their midst and against them. And so it's like not an unfriendly atmosphere. It's just that, but it is competitive, if you feel me. So in the past, I think that this process has, or your creative gifts in general, have caused you to feel like defeated to some degree. They've caused you to feel like, I want to give up. But you're deciding not to give up. like I said, you're deciding, I'm not going to give up here. I am going to approach this with a new, renewed energy of love and artistry and commitment to learn. I think you're also realizing, like, you know what, I always have more to learn. I can always refine this craft. And you're learning a lot as well. You're studying. This King of Swords is also saying that you're studying. So like, I'm really getting actors now. I'm getting stage acting as well, where you're really doing your research into the roles. You're really like fleshing out the concept behind a role, or you're just doing a lot of deep work and study. You could be like still in or going back into programs to deepen your craft, to become a master, to refine it. I just want to know about this Two of Swords in reverse a little bit here. Two of Wands. So there's like a vision. There's a vision you have of building an empire from this, or building like wealth from this. But I do also think that this is, like I said, an environment that involves a lot of players, an environment like literally, if it's stage. But yeah, I don't know why, but I am really getting film and theater, because I'm seeing this as like a stage set, like a fake set, set design of some kind. Really interesting. There is a really strong creative gift and talent that you have that is involved in this in some way, in the creation of worlds, the creation of maybe like false worlds, right? Like illusionistic worlds that we play within. And it's so visionary, and it's so creative, and it's so free, and you are not someone to be like bound to any specific place. I think that you have an openness to your vision, like a very Sagittarian energy, where you want to move. You want this gift to take you places. You really want this gift to take you places. And you do want to contribute and create legacy from this and create like wealth from this, but you're also not entirely focused on doing that in a very established way. Like, you're open to doing this in a way that builds very much over time. And I don't think your mind is so much set on building wealth conventionally, but you're more focused on adventure and expansion, and seeing how much more you can be creatively, how much more you can dream up, or you can visualize. So I think that this like unlocking of it's like an unlocking of the third eye in some way, which is really interesting for you guys. I think there's something imagination based with what you do. And so this renewed offer, or this new energy that you're in or that you're receiving, is like, it's opening up your imagination again. It's allowing you to actually be like, okay, how can I visualize this? How can I create? There's so many possibilities here. There's so many ways I could do this. And I think that's, it's almost like I'm seeing a bunch of shifting bricks. Do you remember in Harry Potter, when they like go into Diagon Alley and they have to tap the bricks and then the bricks all move around? So I'm seeing that, but in almost like it's like a big castle, right? It's like this 10 of Pentacles scene, but I'm seeing like all the pieces are moving around. And so there's a process in your creative gifts, either right now or like you're about to get into this process of basically shifting around all the pieces to create the vision of it the way you want it. So if you're a filmmaker, like if you're a director of some kind, or some kind of producer, like you're some kind of a creator of some kind. And I'm really seeing it like in film, but it could totally not be. This could be some other visual or embodied art form. But you are currently in the process of like designing it in your vision of how you want it to be, taking all the pieces and being like, okay, what parts do I want to be like here and what parts do I want to be there? Like, how am I going to create this? If it's a character, it's like, you know, it might be that you're playing a famous character, like a Shakespearean character, and so you're trying to decide what aspects of the character as it has been played before do you really want to allow to come through, or do you want to invent new expressions of this character and like bring something different to the table. And that's the process that you're in right now, and it's really creative. It's really creative, and it's really powerful. So we have the Sun and we have the King of Cups. So how you can use your creative gifts is honestly just by bringing this beautiful light to the world, this entertainment. You're bringing entertainment to the world. You're also bringing emotional depth. You're bringing insight. You're bringing emotionality. And you're doing that in a way that's very grounded, very embodied, and others can experience, and they can experience a spiritual or an emotional experience through what you do. And it is really through this sun energy, this like being the star of the show, being at the center of attention, and really shining your light, really just shining, broadcast your light out there. And you show up in this way that is like King of Cups, very emotionally deep. It's like, it's how we feel when we watch really talented actors, and we are amazed at their emotional and intellectual capacity to like bring so much into the spotlight, into our field of vision, and it makes us feel. So there's a compassionate thing here going on where you bring your arts, but it's like not just an art, it's almost like you're a scientist of this. Like you were very scientific about what works and how to bring this craft to its utmost, to its highest expression. You're also very intuitive. There's an esoteric. Again, I'm really getting actors, because a lot of actors are really esoteric, and they have almost like a spiritual understanding of their body, but it's sometimes not. I'm just throwing that out there. But I think that it's very common for actors to have an esoteric side. And I think that, but in any case, I think you guys do have an interest in the mystical, but also the mystery of this, the mystery of your creative gift and why it works and how it works. And you're not really meant to understand it too much in that way. You don't need to understand it intellectually, but you are expected, you are in terms of like a spiritual sense maybe even, but like you are kind of meant to explore it. That's really just the main thing, is to explore, and then to find like expressions that bring you into the light, that bring you into the spotlight, so you can then express something. This is very much an exploratory craft. There's something about going deep into the shadows, deep into the underworld. I think in order to get the most depth and the most emotional clarity and depth from your work, you are being encouraged to go into the underworld a little bit, and to look at the things that are destructive or that are dark in some way, you know what I mean? Like to look into the shadow of things, in the shadow of yourself, the shadow of others, and that will actually inform your creativity even more, and it'll inform what you bring to the surface. So it's almost like being aware of esoteric and shadowy things. This doesn't mean evil things at all. It just means like the dark side of things is actually something that allows you to shine brighter. It just, for some reason, it seems to unlock a luminosity that, and this could, if you're not an actor, so you are creating things, in some way it informs that. It makes you a more luminous creator. It makes you more understanding of things, of the mysteries of the universe, and that allows you to sort of unlock like an energy, like a creative energy that you can bring, and also creative vision. Like I'm saying, it will inform ideas. It will inform how you create this world that you were part of creating. Okay, that's an amazing reading. Thank you so much, Pile 3, for being here, and blessings to you. Bye.